If you followed me on my social media platforms, you know that I've been promoting my business through the reels on Instagram and Facebook for like the last 2 years. And it's a little challenging to be able to, in 90 seconds, share all the thoughts I got going on in my head on a certain topic. So I thought I would start a YouTube channel where I can expound on that and have a little more space and time to more thoroughly share some of the concepts that I share on those reels. And if you follow me, you also know that I'm have been a big promoter of the law of attraction. And it kind of came about because, well, I'm starting a program that I'm putting together, a 4-week program where I can really zero in on teaching that. I realized as I was life coaching that I would always circle back around to the law of attraction with my clients because I'm an empowerment life coach, and I found that the power really comes from understanding that you are the creator of your life. And some people might wonder how I started teaching the law of attraction or incorporating that into my life coaching, or even just started following that whole concept. It doesn't really comply fully with the Christian beliefs that I was raised in a Christian home. Some of it is very different. Some of it is just a new take on some of the concepts and verses that I was raised with. Around 32, I found myself at a place in life where I was kind of wishing I had never been born. It was just really hard to feel the joy and peace that I was supposed to, as a Christian, be feeling and experiencing. And I didn't know why. I didn't know how to get rid of my anger issues and get rid of my fears. And I just went on a quest, kind of broke out of the little box that I was contained in and the books and teachers and things like that I was allowed to subscribe to, and just started on a search and really trusted that God was going to lead me to truth, because I wanted truth with all my heart. I would say to my husband, I don't care what I have to do, just tell me and I will do it. I so badly want to be free of this fear that I carry with me. So, true to my belief that if I seek truth with all my heart, I'm going to find it. And I did, little by little. I picked up a book around the age of 32, picked up a book called As a Man Thinketh, and it was the beginning of my transformation, as I learned that I was the creator of my life, and that if I would be introspective and take circumstances, I could follow a chord and it would come straight directly to me. And if I could find that chord as to how I am creating this experience, either through my actions, thoughts, or feelings, I could cut that cord and I could end that unwanted thing or circumstance. And I could now create something through my actions, thoughts, and feelings that was wanted in my life. I had grown up with the law of sowing and reaping, and I always applied that to action. But in this book, it was taking it a step further, and it didn't call it the law of attraction. But looking back, that is exactly what it was. It was going back to my thoughts. I had no idea that my thoughts, my very thoughts, were seeds going forth, creating my life. And not just the thoughts, but as time went on and I studied it, it was the thoughts that leads to my emotions. My emotional state was, your emotions are energy emotion. So your emotions create your whole energy field, and that is what is going out from you, attracting more of what you already hold. So if I'm angry and fearful, it is attracting more things to be angry and fearful about. If you followed me, you know that I took that concept and it was so foreign to me, and I thought, I have never heard anything like that. So I took a situation where my husband had geese that he just loved, and we'd had them for years, and they were a thorn in my side. And I thought, I don't know any way that I am creating this. And so I used that as my testing ground for it. And in the process of doing that, instead of being angry about it, my anger turned to introspection. I was just so mystified. How on earth am I creating this? I don't want them, and my husband won't get rid of them. They would come around the house and honk and wake my babies up at 6 in the morning before I wanted to get up, and it just exasperated me. Well, it wasn't until quite a bit later, because I kind of forgot about that I had put that as my testing ground, but a long time later, I looked back and I thought, my goodness, it was like a month later that my husband carried those geese away. It wasn't because I was complaining about them. He knew I didn't like them. I hadn't for years. But for some reason, he gathered them up and he took them off to a friend of ours who lived by the lake and wanted them. And I thought to myself, what did I do? I don't even know what I did. That created a situation, or uncreated the situation that I didn't like, and I now was free of them. And the only thing I can think of is that I changed my energy field. I was no longer angry about them. I was reflective. What am I doing? What am I thinking, feeling that is creating this? And it was holding a state of resistance and a state of anger about them. And so that just kept it there. You know how that saying goes, what you resist persists. Anyways, that was the beginning, about 25 years ago, of my experimenting with the law of attraction. And it went on from there, and I've had so many situations that I've applied it to for a while there in my 40s, actually for a long while. Went through a really difficult struggle, my husband and I kind of lost all my ability to dream and things and got really sloppy in my thinking and feeling state. And then in 2020, my husband was killed suddenly. And I knew there's no room for sloppiness. If I'm going to make it in taking care of my children and things, I'm going to have to really hone this law of attraction, really be diligent with my thinking and feeling state, hold what I call my alignment of love and peace and joy, my connection to my power, which is God within me. And if I do that, which to me is seeking first God's kingdom, holding that alignment, the promise is that all the details will be taken care of. And so I've put my stakes on that. And for 3 years, I have dutifully really been on myself. When I feel myself tilting off, going into fear, anger, discouragement, sadness, I pay attention to my thoughts and I collect them together. And what I found in the past 3 years is I become the master of my mind and the master of my emotions. And I'm still studying it all and still learning more and more about it, but have gotten to the place where I'm ready to teach it because it has so transformed me. And I'm so excited to be able to teach it and hopefully can inspire those who want to learn to become the deliberate creators of your life. We're all affected by the law of attraction, but most of us don't use it to our benefit. We all understand the law of gravity, and we save ourselves a lot of bumps and bruises and pain because we understand it. And we know that if we go too close to the edge of a building and step, we are going to get hurt. So we don't. And with the law of attraction, it affects us all. But most of us are not understanding it and not using it to our benefit like we could. And so we are getting bumped and bruised in our life in ways that we really would not have to. So I'm going to share with you what I've learned, and I'm going to keep creating reels and just share with you things about the law of attraction, but also just a lot of different things that have made my life so wonderful and so worth living. And I'm so grateful for the time in my life when I was despairing of life, because it put me on a whole different course where I eventually began to find love and joy in life again. And I hope that you, in following me, will find the same.